Good morning on a Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific. Got a special show for you today. AOH is joined by 93 Zay. I'm going to do a little member appreciation and super thanks appreciation for the first few minutes while people start coming through. Oh, I see people are already watching. This is a hot one. People are excited to have you here, Zay. Go ahead and say
Oh,
hello.
what's good, y'all? Y'all know what time it is. We finna get on this bum. You know it. Hit us with that HBO special. Go ahead.
I told Zay, make sure your YouTube is off in the background and mine's fucking on. Oh man.
Here we go.
So I just closed all those windows. Hey, so shout out to, I think I read most of the people's super thanks during the Sunday panel, but I just want to make sure to show appreciation. I appreciate all the members. I appreciate everybody who came through with the super thanks. It means a lot, especially with YouTube making it harder and harder on those of us doing the truth telling. Unless you're Zay. Zay, you're hot right now. Congratulations on the channel blow up.
Man, I appreciate it so much. I'm so thankful for y'all. Y'all have no idea. We was deep in the trenches with Bronny James. Y'all have no idea. Well, just go ahead, AOH. Just go ahead. I don't want to take over the show,
No,
man.
go.
Go ahead.
Hey, we're gonna. No, you don't need to be polite on this channel. I'll cut you off if I want to. You start rolling. You keep talking. We got to have some time at the end to talk about your conversion because that's going to be a really interesting one. I always wonder. I never thought that LeBron fans could be converted at first, but there's some people that have come on my channel and been converted.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I got people that came on mine like, I've been delivered. I've been delivered. I'm like, welcome home, fanboy. Welcome home.
But you were an adult before you saw the light.
Oh, most definitely. I didn't start seeing the light, man, till like 2018, 2019.
Whew.
You know, when I couldn't make excuses anymore. When I'm watching KD come down, finish LeBron off with a 3 in his face, I'm like, man, this guy doesn't want to compete. He's arguing with J.R. Smith. Like, man, it's time to play basketball. Lock in and play basketball. You know what I mean? And when you coming into just your manhood, it's certain things about a man that you just don't want to align yourself with. You know what I mean? You don't want to align yourself with somebody who makes excuses, somebody who blames everybody.
I think that's something that a lot of people that tune into my channel or your channel can relate to. They're just like, you just don't behave this way. Forget about how good or bad you are. This is just embarrassing behavior that shouldn't be televised.
Oh, most definitely. You get into the press conference talking about, well, you know, I look at my stats. You know, I did my job. I did my job. You're like, man, are you serious? You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I didn't play basketball. I'm a football guy, really. Originally, I'm a football guy. But I always loved the game. Always watched the game. Always played, you know, going to the YMCA, going to Lifetime, going to wherever, playing the game. But I just couldn't take it no more, man, because you couldn't do stuff like this in a football locker room. You cannot be this type of way in a football locker room. You know what I mean? No matter how good you are. You can't.
It's
We can't
interesting
have it.
it's interesting for 2018 to have been a wake up year for you because a lot of LeBron fans will talk about that being an amazing year for LeBron. But it was also for those of us who are paying attention, it was a year that showed that LeBron was about LeBron and not about the Cavs.
Almost definitely, man. It was just so sad to see, you know.
Was that the
Nope.
check my stats year? Was that the year that he said that?
I think it was, man. You know, he always talking about check his stats. The fanboys, every time a fanboy be in your comment section, they talking about the stats. You like, fanboys, are you watching the game? You gotta watch the game. He's a traffic cone. He doesn't help. AD has been screaming for help since the inception of him coming to the Lakers. And LeBron doesn't help him on defense. Look
No.
at him in the Olympics. with Bam. Him and Bam were locking shit down in the
Oh
paint when they
yeah.
got. Oh my God, it was like the Twin Towers down there. But when you have LeBron is not going to help you out on help defense or just, because AD alters so many shots. He makes it very hard on people coming into the paint that LeBron just has to do something. LeBron just stand in front of him, LeBron, something, man. And he never does.
Since we got excited people here, let's read a couple of comments. Marie says, oh shit, this shit's flying through. I can't even keep up with the chats coming through. Check my stats was after 2009 at Angry Old Hoops Fan. Was it? Because I thought it was in the, maybe that's the first time they said it, but I thought he said it during the playoffs when they weren't doing that well. Or when they started losing, but he said, well, I got my quote slightly wrong. He says, I'm averaging a triple double, so I'm good. Yeah, that's
terrible.
It's
terrible.
Just different versions of saying something disgusting.
Man, LeBron James, man. Oh my God. Go ahead.
So then tell us about the original influence of it. Because you got hooked young.
Oh yeah.
And let me get this out. What was it? Because were you hooked young because you had been watching LeBron and were impressed by LeBron, or were you hooked young because you were told he was the chosen one and you should tune in for it?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. It was my cousin, man. My cousin put me on to LeBron James, in 03. He still got the Slam magazine. Like, he's a big fanboy. You know what I mean? And I always wanted to be like my big cousin, you know what I mean? And we just kind of we started from day one. It's like you're watching him from day one, and man, I feel ashamed. It's almost like I feel such a shame talking about it because it was a rough time, man. I was a real fanboy. I'm talking about in the comment section, beating the comment sections up. You talking about LeBron? I'm ready to put you in a headlock. You know what I mean? Like,
but
real
look how
deep.
you were influenced by an elder, and this is what really scares me about LeBron James and his type being on TV. People are impressionable, and you're setting a bad example for people. Just like you were told to tune in to LeBron. We got a couple of super chats already. Let me read. It is Speam Engine $1.99. I spent my last $2 on this. Make me famous. Hey, Speam.
The last $2, my boy. Thank you.
Speam's always on his last $2. Speam, where was your show yesterday, man? You were supposed to go live yesterday. I was watching for you. And let's see. We also have King Speech Row. Good to see you here, King Speech. You couldn't do that in a b-ball locker room either, LeBron. I agree. When you said you can't do that in a football locker room, I was thinking you can't do that in any locker room.
My bad, got distracted. So you couldn't do that in the locker room, LaForty James. Like, this is LaForty James, man. Like, you gotta, when the NBA has to tell you can't use cell phones on the bench.
Oh.
My God.
What? Oh, and I saw that. Yeah, I saw that news about the guy who's being investigated. And I was like, he was in trouble. One of the things that set them off was that he was texting updates about the status of the game. I'm like, how can he do that unless he's got a cell phone out while he's a participating member of the freaking team? It just blows my mind. This is the Adam Silver era. The bad parent who has bad kids and doesn't know how to discipline them. So it's like, oh, okay, you guys can dress like clowns and you guys can bring your cell phones and you guys can eat on the bench. And those of us who were not raised that way are saying, well, that's really unprofessional. And all the young spoiled brats are like, oh, you guys are just haters. There's nothing wrong with that. And there's a pretty obvious divide. Now, I think you're younger than I am. I don't want to ask you live how old you are, but Are you somewhere in the middle between the youngsters and me?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I'm in my early 30s, so I've I've seen Kobe. We've seen majority of Kobe, and I've seen all of LeBron. I've seen everything since the inception of LeBron, and the NBA has flipped upside down. Like you said, Adam Silver is a parent, and you got all these bad kids. Well, he need to take his belt off. David Stern would have took his belt off and put belt to ass to these players. That's a fact. Today's players are out of control. You don't want to play. You're faking injury. You just seen the clip with Zion. Zion said, the Pelicans don't want me to play back to backs. I'm like, bruh, you guys can't play back to backs. It doesn't make sense. Why can't these players play back to backs? They don't even practice. They don't even go through the same level of preparation that the players did in the 90s. They barely practice. I was listening to, Gil's Arena, and I was
Oh,
watching. I know it's hard to listen to sometimes what they be saying because, it's just a glaze fest. But Kenyon Martin was talking about just how hard it was, in the 90s for them, how much weight they would lose during training camp. You know what I mean? Just the amount of sweat and work that they put in compared to today, where all these different rules. And it's the same way in the NFL. They don't do the 2-a-day back to back. Like, they don't practice as hard as they did in the previous time. But the NBA is just unbelievable. When the Celtics, my God, I was expecting the Celtics to put belt to ass to the Lakers, and the Celtics look tired. They look unenthusiastic. It
they
was
were a
just
no-show.
terrible to see. You feel me?
They were a no-show, and when I was kind of talking about it a little bit, and I was like, I shouldn't spend much time on this because LeBron fans are going to be like, oh, you're making excuses for the Celtics. But to that, I say, so do you Laker fans actually think the Lakers are better than the Celtics? Because most of the time you're talking about how their roster sucks and they need more help, and LeBron has nobody. So you can't turn around and say that that was a legitimate win if you don't actually believe that the Lakers are a better team than the Celtics. You basically have to admit that the Celtics were a no-show for the Lakers. It's one or the other, isn't it?
Oh, most definitely. They know they're not better than the Celtics. Let me tell you, the Lakers, once they win a game, it's all we go into the finals. We win in the championship. Soon as they get belt to ass, we need help. We need a center. We need this. Fanboys, you got to make your mind up. You can't play both sides of the fence. There's no such thing as halfway crooks, fanboys. You got to pick a side. Do y'all have enough, or are y'all winning the championship? That's what
When
we got to know.
you when you brought up Zion Williamson and him blaming the franchise, LeBron did something like that earlier in the season. It's like, oh, I would have played 82 if it was my choice. You're so full of shit. But how about if you guys just how about if you just prove it? Zion, where's your love of the game clause like Michael Jordan had? If
Oh,
if you can strong arm the organization to pay you when you don't play, I'm guessing you could strong arm the organization to play since they're already paying you. And
I mean,
and and that leads me to talk about, and I'm sure you'll go off on this because I know you mentioned him, Paul George sitting out because of a pinky on his non-shooting hand. But Paul George has barely played this year. Like I would think that he would be just chomping at the bit to get out there. It's like, shit, I've barely been able to play this year. I don't care how hurt I am. I'm going to get out there. I'm sick of not competing. I'm sick of not helping my team. No, no, he's happy for any itty bitty, teeny tiny excuse to keep sitting on the bench.
that's when these guys they just don't care. You know what I mean? If I'm, these players, they watch media just how we do. You know what I mean? And if I'm seeing on the internet, they calling me podcast P, they calling me pandemic P, they calling me all these disrespectful names. I'm gonna use that as motivation. I'm gonna use that as motivation to say, you know what? I know my pinky hurt, but hey, Kobe played with a broken finger, man. Some of these guys play with so many injuries. They look like the Toon Squad at halftime, man. Knock it off. The old players, man, they played so much harder. They played through it because they love the game. They wanted to win. They wanted that ring.
Speaking of Chill, 6789 said that God damn it, I wish these chats would stop going across there. In the day, the Bucks played 16 back-to-backs. That's crazy. You know. Oh yeah, and Paul George saying bored playing at 5.
Let's get on Embrittle. Let's talk about Embrittle.
Yeah, take it. What's on your mind?
My God, 446 games played and 400 games missed. And you paying this man done made $266 million. Somebody's got to call the police. Let's call the police. Let's end the stream, call the police because he's stealing. He is robbing the 76ers. Hasn't won a thing. It kills me the most that these guys are making so much money and they're playing so much more or less. That's a big problem in the NBA. The thing is, the NBA players come before the shield. In the NFL, the shield comes before anything. You know what I mean? That keeps these players in line. You know, I feel bad because, you know, NFL players go through way more. They go through so much more, and they don't have guaranteed contracts. So if your pinky hurt, your left pinky's hurting, your non-used pinky hurt, you have to play because if you don't show that level of toughness to the team, they're going to cut your ass.
I don't, you know, I'm sure people get tired of me telling old man stories, but I got to tell you, I don't know how much time in my youth I played without at least one finger on each hand jammed and purple and swollen. You know, these guys today think that the only way to play is when you're in 100% complete comfort, and it's just embarrassing. I assume that you played basketball and football.
Yeah, I did, but like when you hearing guys complain about dunking hurt, you're like, man, it hurts to dunk, man. Shit, I'm sick of it, man. The NBA needs order. They need order, man. Somebody's got to come put the belt down on these kids, man.
Let me read a super chat from Cameron Peterson, who says, when I became an NBA fan in 2023, I had LeBron James #2, all because the media said he was the GOAT. So it must have been true. Wilt is 100x the player LeBron James is. Becoming a fan in 2023. That's an interesting time to become a fan. I wonder how.
That's the worst time in the world to become a fan. Shit.
I'm guessing you must be pretty young. But yeah, this is a terrible, terrible time. So what, you know, a good follow-up is what woke you up, because the media didn't ever stop lying about him being #2. They at least toned down the #1 part. I think he's embarrassed himself enough to where even the mainstream media has kind of backed down from that lie.
It'll just be like, I'll be on, you know, after I watch the game, I'll be like so mad, disappointed, like, man, what the, you know, and then I get on ESPN. You get on these big networks, and these networks are just glazed, and they're like, well, LeBron is doing everything he can. He needs so much help. He's had, how many trades has LeBron been a part of? How many players have came over to LeBron's team, man? We're talking D-Wade, Chris Bosh. You're talking Ray Allen. You're talking Kyrie, Kevin Love. You're talking Dwight Howard, Rajon Rondo. You got AD. Bro, like, knock it off. How much help does a player need? You know what I mean? You go to the court, man. Sometimes you're just like, all right, man, come on, let's go. Let's run, you know?
Yeah.
Let's run because you believe in your skills. That tells me that LeBron doesn't believe in his skills.
Exactly.
Michael Jordan wasn't complaining about the roster. You know what I mean? Obviously, Kobe did, because who wants to play with Smush Parker? You know what I mean? Some of these guys that Kobe had to play with it's an atrocity. You know what I mean? But all the complaining. I just can't stand somebody who makes excuses when they can do better. They can be better. You turned the ball over 3 times in the last 5 minutes. You missed 3 shots. You can't hit a free throw. You can't hit a free throw to save your life in crunch time. You know what I mean? So
I always ask LeBron fans to try and pretend that you're out on a pickup court with LeBron and that you're as forgiving in that scenario as you are watching him as a pro. Because if you had a dude that turned the ball over that many times on your team, you would never play with him again. Like it's terrible when you have someone who turns the ball over. And it's even worse when you have someone who turns the ball over and tries to blame everyone else. You would never play with that person again.
Never again, man. You be like, hey, I'll be right back.
I know the ledge says LeBron's game is very ugly. Everything looks off. Yeah, I started a video. I was breaking down the Wizards game. And I was just looking at all of LeBron's layup attempts. It's just, hey, I'm going to decide to barrel forward and I'm going to commit an offensive foul, or people are going to be completely gone. I mean, there's nothing attractive or inspiring about it either way. It's either cheating with an offensive foul and a whistle. You notice after he leads with his shoulder, he follows with both of his arms up here, like he's clearing out at people's heads and not getting whistled for it.
LeBron 40 James, man, he can't help it. He has no move. When you don't have a move and you know somebody has the opportunity to steal the ball from you, what you're going to do? You're going to hold your hand out. You're going to push your hand out because you have no way of controlling the ball. He can't control the ball. There was an interview with Kyrie Irving, was like, man, he was hurt. He was watching LeBron, and he was like, man, Bron got to come work with me this summer on his handle. How is a young Kyrie Irving telling a 15-year vet to come work with him and work on his handle, man? That lets me know right there that LeBron is not working on his game. What is he doing?
And it's another thing. It's like, hey, if you want to make the team, come back next year with better handles. The NBA, Adam Silver has done the opposite. Hey, you don't have any handles. We're going to stop calling travels. they changed for him. King's Speech Row thinks that the Knicks are going to handle the Lakers today. And I would common sensely agree with you. But one of the problems with the NBA is now you never know what you're going to get from night to night. Like teams just become instantly unrecognizable. They get blown out by 30-40. Then they blow someone out by 30-40. I mean, the Celtics chose not to show up against the Lakers. Why would I have confidence that the Knicks will show up? And maybe there is a good reason. Maybe you think that the Knicks are built different. What do you think will happen today?
Tibbs typically had them running hard. They running on fumes. They're going to be in shape, I think the Knicks should win. They better win. If there's no AD's supposed to be out for a week, so they should win. But we already know how the NBA is. As soon as you set your parlay up, they looking to see what the numbers are. They're like, you know what? It's that time. Today they have to sell your parlay. The gambling. If I'm a betting man, I'm not betting on the NBA, man. Very sparingly. You're going to lose your dollars betting on the NBA because the referees, they know there's no AD, so watch for the whistle tonight. The whistle will be blown. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't see how the Lakers don't have an answer for Karl Anthony Towns, though. That's the problem. There's no answer for him.
Well, speaking of Anthony Davis being out, the Lakers do have a 7-footer in Jackson Hayes, but they have this Jennison guy who came out of nowhere, who's 6'11". Where the hell did he come from? How do the Lakers just have a never-ending source of people? He wasn't part of their G League team. I didn't hear anything about trades. Honestly, I feel like
I don't know who he is either, man. LeBron just be pulling guys out his hat. You're like, what the fuck?
I just wonder if I don't understand why other teams can't do it. The Lakers are never constantly changing their roster, and then you see the Warriors just being completely impotent.
Yeah, because Steph Curry, he like, man, don't leverage your future. I'm 36. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can make all these trades for me, but do it within reason to where it doesn't hurt the team.
Yeah.
LeBron is like, you know what? We all in. Put all your chips on the table because if we don't win, I'm out of here. Or this is my last year. This is my last 2 years. We need to go all in so you don't have a draft pick until 2035. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, he's 40 and terrible, and it's okay for the Lakers to sell their franchise. But Curry's 36 and maybe not as good as he was, but compared to LeBron James, he's pretty awesome. And
I mean, we wouldn't have the goal without Steph Curry. So.
Right. Hayden Phoenix gives you a shout out. Zay, never stop laughing at the king. That drives the fanboys crazy. They hate when Uncommon Sense does it also. Fanboys come home. Thank you. Thank you for
the Hayden Phoenix, a real one. Can I give a shout out to a couple of my guys in there?
Absolutely.
JD, my guy JD and Bucks. I appreciate y'all tapping in with me. You already know. Hey, but go ahead.
I'll scroll through here. Look for. I don't mean to hate on everyone else's comments. I'm just trying to keep up with the super chats. This is Full Venom Jacket. He's a regular on here. Super chat 20 Canadian. Enjoy Canada while you can. I hear we're going to buy it. That sucks because I was going to go there to get good health care. The United States will bring that to an end. Welcome to the AOH family, 93Z. Some random stats for you all this morning. LeBron is currently ranked 425th in defensive rating. He is fourth in the L in turnovers. Oh, fourth in the league in turnover. He has a plus minus of negative 92. James Harden comparatively is plus 128. Well, that's a better plus minus than LeBron had earlier this season, I think. Wasn't he like in the triple digits terrible?
Yeah, he's like 134. Just pure ass. Like, I just can't believe. Fanboys, how do you not see what you're watching? He's not even moved. There's so many plays that you can go and look at where LeBron maybe takes 3 steps on the possession.
Listen to 93 Zay. He was one of you and he saw the light. There is hope for you. There is hope for you, fanboys. But, it depends how much of your life you want to look back on and be embarrassed of, depending when you change your mentality. Because the longer you cling to this delusion, the more embarrassed you're going to be later on when you come to the light, which, some Uncommon Sense. Yeah, there wasn't Uncommon Sense who said it. Somebody, a fan on his channel, said that it's more like you believed he was the GOAT for no reason. And then you spend the rest of your life trying to come up with excuses to continue to believe that.
Yeah, most definitely. And ESPN spearheads this stuff. And
oh yeah.
Oh my God. Like, you have to break it down. Like, what is he the greatest at? What is he the ultimate greatest at? Is he the greatest shooter?
Nope.
Is he the greatest free throw shooter?
Nope.
Does he have the greatest handle? Nope.
Look,
does he have any moves that you're like, man, this is his signature move? When he gets to this spot on the court, it is automatic. The only spot that's automatic damn near from him is the paint. Inside of 3 feet is where he makes his bread and butter.
And he doesn't even do that in a respectable manner.
Not anymore, for sure not. Because his athleticism is gone. They used to say, hey, he's a great on-ball defender. But what you don't realize is once he gets beat, he is so elite athletically that he can recover. He can recover, and he could recover, when those steroids was kicked in and he was locked in, the steroids aren't helping him no more. It's not doing his job. Father Time is winning right now.
I got to think about the 2007 video that I did. I was showing the first time that Jordan got swept and the first time that LeBron got swept. And, Jordan was known as a dunker, right? Everybody was blown away by his high-flying antics. But if you watch that series against the Celtics, like 90% of his shots are rising up over the defender in a jump shot, a beautiful, beautiful jump shot.
A mid-range demon. Yes,
His
he was.
hang time on those shots made me tired. I was like, Jesus, dude, jumping that high for every shot, and you got 63 points in the game without a 3-pointer. Damn. But okay, LeBron's never going to be known as one of the great 3-point shooters. He's never going to be known as one of the great mid-range shooters, and he's not even going to be known as finishing around the rim very well. Like, he finishes around the rim with a whistle or a bulldoze.
Oh yeah.
And Michael Jordan didn't even have to rely upon going to the rim. He had that shot down. That's his second season in the NBA we're talking about that he did that against the Celtics with just his mid-range and even some pretty long distance. He took one 3-pointer in that series and made it.
Oh yeah. If you put Jordan and LeBron James side by side, it is a world of difference, man. Jordan, his game is so smooth, so graceful. It was just like he just had an elite just movement to himself. LeBron is clumsy, knocking over stuff, pushing people. That he's like a bowling ball. You know what I mean? You're watching somebody go bowling in the NBA, man. He's constantly shoving off. And then once he doesn't get the call after he just traveled, he just fouled you, he's waving his hands up like you're the problem. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's unbelievable to watch. Unbelievable.
Shout out to Thanos, Snap Feminism. $5. LeBron is a fullback playing basketball. He can give out punishment, but becomes a wounded warrior whether touched or not. That's beyond true. I mean, it's nauseating. It's hardly even worth talking about anymore because it's not just nightly. It's like most plays nightly.
It's the NBA is in trouble, man. The NBA is in trouble because now they're allowing other guys to do it. It's times where I see Giannis stiff arming. It's times where you see Giannis and them traveling. Excuse me, how to call. But you know, it's leaking off into these other players. You know, James Harden, he's the free throw god. I remember the season where you just couldn't keep James Harden off the free throw line because of these. You know what I mean? The NBA is really in trouble, and it hurts my heart to talk about it sometimes, man. I really feel bad because these kids will never understand real greatness. These kids, a lot of these kids only know LeBron. This is the only superstar that they know. This is the only face of the league that they know. And
it does hurt. You're right. You're absolutely right. It does hurt. And guess what? That's the underlying reason I sound so bitter on here. This is a form of therapy for me, complaining about what the NBA is as we watch the end of the NBA. Like, it's really sad. Like, it seemed like something that was indestructible for a while. I mean, the fact that you can destroy something that was indestructible says a lot. And we got to get to the first big topic of the day. Everybody listen. Everybody listen. Well, I'll say King Speech Rose comment. He says that the Wizards game cut his plus minus in half. Yeah, that might be true. That was why was he playing in that game? I mean, that game was over before it began. I know LeBron. I know a lot of times the problem is that LeBron is still in the fourth in a blowout stat padding, but LeBron shouldn't even have suited up. If he was gonna not suit up for a game, why did you suit up against the Wizards? They're worse than any G League team. But the big topic of the day, and you brought it up in a recent video in a different way than I did. We were on a show here not too long ago, and we wondered, will Adam Silver bring defense back to the NBA once LeBron retires? And of course, what will that do? That'll help protect the records that LeBron has created based on there being no defense in the NBA. Now, we don't know if that'll happen, but we did hear Adam Silver play with the idea of shortening the games. And you broke it down into exactly how many fewer games a season that's going to give players in total minutes to try to match LeBron's numbers. So that's kind of evidence that, in fact, Adam Silver does have plans to make it harder for anyone to ever reach what LeBron did.
Adam Silver's like, we should shorten the season, for LeBron James, and it'd be just great for basketball. We want to make it global, let's brighten up the courts. Like, come on, man, knock it off, Adam Silver. You're gonna cut 356 minutes from the season. 16 games, 16 40-minute games would be lost in comparison to the season now. How are you gonna catch LeBron LaFody James? How are you gonna catch him? Players don't even play 82 games now. So you're going to lose 16 games plus what? We're not even accounting for injuries and all of that, So it's going to kill the league, because what about the records that have during the course of history? Look at the records. What are they going to adjust the records per minute? I don't know how they're going to do that. But I'm telling you now, it's gonna hurt the league even further. The games are already short. We spend so much money going to these games. So much money. Now you're gonna be at the game for less time. You're spending more money and being less and having less time inside the stadium. It doesn't make sense. Are you gonna shorten the commercials? They're not gonna shorten the commercials. The ad revenue is still gonna keep coming in. But the problem is, the NBA is not going to change until it hurts their bottom line. That's just the truth.
So you pointed this out also in a recent video, so I'll use that as an excuse to talk about it. You talked about the revenue just now, and the NBA does still have the revenue, but you kind of pointed out how one of the reasons they have that revenue is their absurd prices, and they're kind of like catering to only the rich. And there's enough people in the world now that you can still fill the stands with casuals who have money to burn, but a lot of your real NBA fans have been kind of pushed out. And while that's a sad story for those who love the game, well, there's money there, so no consequences. It makes me sad. The whole thing is hollowed out. Let me tell a sad story about the Golden State Warriors. In 2022, when they won it all, during one of the playoff games, I was standing outside at their new Chase Center. And there was plenty of room, tons of room. Everybody was being orderly. We were watching on the big screen, and it was support. We didn't have tickets to get inside. And all of a sudden, all these security guards come and like, oh, you have to clear out of here. I'm like, we're not allowed. We're San Franciscans. We're not allowed to stand here and support our team. And guess what?
Treat you like the homeless.
When they won, it was fucking a ghost town. And you look at other towns in the NBA or other cities when they win something and it's chaos. It was a freaking ghost town around Chase Center because you weren't allowed to be there acting like a real fan. Nobody was doing anything wrong. Celtics fans and Warriors fans were side by side, no issues. It was just like a really personal experience that it's all about money now and not about love of the game.
Oh yeah, it's most definitely about money, because you look at other times teams win championships, they show the jumbotron, everybody outside. It looks like a movie. It looks like 21 Jump Street. It looks like something crazy where you want to be a part of this. You want to be a part of that. And for them not to have anybody outside, there was nobody outside.
Well, not by the end.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. Maybe they thought y'all were homeless or something. They trying to get rid of the homeless in the Bay, but like, man, I that's unbelievable. No fans outside.
There was this little circle thing where you could be next to the inside crew, so that you're seen on camera, and you had to pay to be inside of that. But like, there's this huge opening area, and they actually had a band on one side, and they've got these restaurants and bars on the other side, and all those businesses were suffering because no one is allowed to be in there.
Let's hurt the economy too.
And that wasn't on the night that we won it. That was before, but my girlfriend had coworkers in town, and they were like, hey, we want to go, we want to take a cab down and see what the celebration is like. And it was ghost town. It was just like, yeah, that's really embarrassing. It's it makes me sad to be in a hollowed out city.
And that lets you know they don't care about the fans.
Nope.
These players don't care about the fans either. Look at KD. KD really thinks that the majority of fans are peons, that we are nothing to them. You know what I mean? They walk around like there's God's gift to earth because they dribble a basketball. And these fanboys, they love to talk. You're broke. You don't have money. You money, money, money. Fanboys, what about character? Character is the most important thing in the world, man.
I
If you
gotta
have
feel
no,
like the people without character are the ones who rely the most on talking about how much money they have.
yeah, look at my car, look at my chain, look at my clothes. These guys dressing like females, man. These dudes wearing skirts to the game. I don't want to watch an NBA player show up to the game in a skirt, man.
Is this Uncut Hoops says going to college game versus NBA game is a completely different atmosphere. Yes, indeed. Yeah. I mean, I
Oh,
haven't been,
most definitely, man. You see Duke games, man. It's crazy. It's a madhouse in college watching these games, man. And even the NFL games are even more live than the NBA games, man. The NBA games, everybody on their phone, they on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like nobody's watching it for real. It's terrible.
Cash, thank you for the super thanks. You're spot on. You know, we'll talk about KD briefly because I don't remember KD behaving that way earlier on in his career. You know, he was quiet, he was mellow, and then you mentioned that he's like, you know, he's not really. That's his personality. But then later on, he heard in his ear enough times, "Hey, man, people should be talking about you in the GOAT conversation." And then all of a sudden, he said, "Hey, how come I'm not in the GOAT conversation?" Well, because you're not a killer. You're a fantastic, talented basketball player.
Oh, most definitely,
But
most
you
definitely.
don't. You've got to admit that you've never acted like you have the passion or the drive to ever be considered that way.
Yeah,
And then
when you're as talented as him, why would you not want to be in the GOAT conversation? Let me tell you what happened. LeBron James is like, man, damn, he went to Golden State. There's no way I'm never gonna win another title with him on Golden State. So he goes to his Clutch Sports media members, and his media members start to create the narrative. KD, you're soft. KD, you're this. KD. And KD is so sensitive that he's not realizing that these are LeBron James puppets and they're manipulating you to get you out of Golden State. He should have stayed in Golden State. Why do you leave Golden State? You would have you'd have at least 4 or 5 rings easily staying in Golden State.
a piece of it, of course, was Draymond, and maybe another piece of it was that he got a taste of that success and started thinking, "Hey, I'm going to go prove to other people that I'm something that he found out later he wasn't."
Hey, speaking on Draymond, have you never had a friend where y'all got into a heated conversation? You like, man, fuck you, you a bitch. Have you never had that, and then y'all still friends to this day? You still playing? You still hang out with this guy? You guys just had an argument. We might have disagreed on something, but that don't mean I don't love you. That don't mean you ain't my brother. You know what I mean? That's the problem. You couldn't once Draymond called KD the B word, he was gone. That is soft to me, man. I'm sorry. That is soft. You can't get over somebody calling you a bad name. The players, man, they're just too soft. Now you ruined your legacy because you haven't been back to the final since. You haven't been back since. So
The
that's
sports
on him and
prophet,
his legacy. But
the sports prophet with a super chat says, "Imagine taking credit for the Cavs winning when you haven't been on the team in 8 years." Oh yeah, that was another one of LeBron just can't stop saying disgusting crap, can he? Oh, what do you say?
I laid the foundation. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Set the trend for winning. Oh my God.
That's pathetic, man. If I was on the Cavs, I'm like, man, get this bum. Come on. I'm so glad the Cavs put belt to ass to the Lakers. That was so beautiful to see. That was for Cleveland. This is for you, Cleveland. That was for you, man. Thank God. Because if he had his wish, he would be able to go back to Cleveland right now just to ruin that team. I guarantee you, if
Yeah.
in a perfect world where nobody cared what LeBron did, he would be back in Cleveland right now.
Oh yeah. Who wants to hear us talk about Bronny? Is everybody sick of Bronny?
Jay.
You showed a clip. I started doing my own breakdown of the game, and then I was like, I'm too late. Zay's already nailed it, but there's a lot more to show from that game. Maybe this summer I'll get to it.
Let's talk about Bronny. We got to get on Bronny, man.
I'm gonna open it up by the clip that shows LeBron not even playing help defense when his own son needed help.
He like, Dad.
And listen, LeBron, foul somebody if you have to, because he either has 0 fouls in a game, or that game I checked, he had 1 foul. Bro, can you pick up 2 fouls for the sake of your son?
Come on. That's an abomination as well. How does LeBron James finish games without a foul? I'm showing you 12 fouls a game on every highlight. LeBron should be fouled out by the second quarter. How is he not getting called for fouls? It doesn't make sense. The NBA is so backwards. I'm throwing the sound effects. I'm showing you, like, look, he is robbing this guy. He is beating this guy right now, man. Knock it off. The NBA has to knock it off.
You know, in this soft society that's been partially shaped by these soft clowns that are on television, we'll say that, oh, what are you doing picking on that kid? But you people doing this MVP cheers or giving a standing ovation for a kid for finally making a bucket.
My God.
You're proving our point that he's a make-a-wish kid. Why are you giving a standing ovation that he made a bucket? That's literally like if we're watching someone pick a child up and hold him up to the rim, and everyone's like, "Oh, great!"
Like Simba, hold Simba up, man.
But it's also, it's so disrespectful to other players. That's what nobody's thinking about. You want to talk about us being disrespectful to Bronny? The Bronny thing is disrespectful to all the people out there that are better than him and are being buried.
It's sad, man. It's so many kids who, you know, they struggling, man. They hoop all day. They really in the gym. They gotta find food. They grandma need help. They mama need help. You know what I'm saying? They need this opportunity to showcase their skills so they can get a contract. Bronny averaged what? 4 points a game in college. He wasn't even the best player on his team. But you have Bronny James being the face of the draft. That is disrespectful to the game. That's disrespectful to the brotherhood of the NBA. You know what I mean? And then for these guys, for having, people are gambling people are throwing their money away on Bronny for being Rookie of the Year. I got a homeboy that bet the over on his 0.5 points a game every game.
Jesus.
I'm like, man, call the gambling hotline, brother. Please. Please.
You know, Barkley at the beginning of the season said that Bronny was going to have a target on his back, and he, you know, felt bad for him. And I said then, I'm like, no one's going to be allowed to do a damn thing. And indeed, you know, people cheer for him when he doesn't even deserve it to be cheered for. And I don't really hear crowds coming down on him. I don't think he does have a target on his back. I think he's being protected and praised when he doesn't deserve praise. That's just my
he's being protected by the media, right? But see, what LeBron James did wrong is that he was like, man, it's the 76ers, no Paul George, no Drummond, no Brittle, you know. What can go wrong? He got in that game and seen Tyrese Maxey, and it was all downhill from there. Tyrese Maxey was going crazy. He was going right at Bronny. Step backs, cross. He was making Bronny look foolish out there.
Good for you, Tyrese Maxey, for going at him. Let me read a super thanks. This is from Greg Goobs. $4.99. Thank you, AOH, for speaking the truth. I think the main problem is guaranteed money in contracts. Players should be paid based on performance, no drive. Yeah, I mean that's got to be a huge piece of it. I can't
Oh, for sure.
can't disagree with you.
The players union is strong. You know, baseball and the NBA have the toughest and strongest unions. The NFL union is the reason why they don't have guaranteed contracts. You know what I mean? So most definitely that union is just very strong. They doing what they're supposed to do for the player, technically, you know.
I gotta tell a funny story. You mentioned brotherhood a second ago, and it reminded me. I saw YouTube notified me that you liked one of the comments I left on your channel. And I was like, huh, I wonder which comment you liked. And I went and I read it. And I was like, I didn't type this. No offense. I mean, I leave comments on your channel, but it said, I'm so tired of seeing hundreds of my brothers traded over the years. And I was like, that really says my name next to it. I don't talk like that. I don't understand what YouTube's doing. I did not say that.
YouTube, man. And that's the thing. People are saying, like, man, Zay, you might be shadow banned. I'm like, man, how? Like, I mean, I hit 1.1 million views, but I don't even got 8,000 subscribers yet. Like, wow. That is crazy to me. My videos are constantly punching above my weight. You know what I mean? I got barely 8,000, but my videos getting 20, 30, 40, 50,000 sometimes. And I'm like, damn. And I go and look at other channels, and it might not be, as high, but they got more subs than me. And I'm like, how is this possible? Why is YouTube shadow banning me? People aren't getting notifications, etc. You know what I mean? So,
well, I don't know. If you only have 8,000 subs and you're getting 30K views, that sounds like they're being kind to you, or you have a very, very dedicated fan base and they watch your videos multiple times.
Oh yeah, they definitely do. Shout out to all the guys. Shout out to the family, man. I appreciate y'all so much for blowing me up. It's unbelievable at times. It's unreal. It doesn't feel real.
Well, you're doing good work. So much. You bring the facts, you bring the recent events, and you make it entertaining. So it's a great format you have.
Oh, most definitely. I appreciate that, AOH. You one of the ghosts at this, man. You one of the guys that I listen to. Let me give a shout out to a couple of the guys. I will give a shout out to you. I'll give a shout out to Carcino. I like Dreamers Pro. I like Ticket TV. Kwame Brown. Oh, Kwame Brown did the reaction to my video. Kwame Brown, you a legend for that.
Oh, no shit.
For real. Nice. Man, I had a homeboy who's so deep in his fanboyism that he stopped being my friend over my YouTube channel. He like, you trying to make money off LeBron James.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh, my God. I'm trying to tell the truth. I'm trying to restore order. The judge is in session. I got to restore order.
That was a whole trend. That's this whole trend with people like Gil, FYF, the Nick Wrights, saying that we're what are we going to do without LeBron? I don't know. Hopefully go back to not having to, on a daily basis, counter all the lies being told on LeBron's behalf. I got a whole video coming up to clown on those people because they're making a living sucking LeBron off. I don't know why we can't make a living telling the truth.
Wemby, oh my, Shannon Sharp. Oh man, can we talk about Shannon Sharp? Shannon Sharp, man, it's time, brother. It's time to come home, Shannon.
I was going to ask you, out of all of them, do you have one person in the LeBron cock gobbling circle that is more annoying than the rest, or does anyone stand out for you?
I like to say there's a holy trinity. We got Shannon Sharp, Nick Wright, and Reggie cocksucking Miller. Oh my God, Reggie Miller, what happened to you?
What a shame, right?
This is the same Reggie Miller that was holding up the choke sign to Spike Lee, the choke sign. And you have the nerve to glaze this fucking choker in the NBA that you see right now, Bronny James. Reggie Miller, you should be ashamed of yourself. My God, go ahead, man.
Well, you all
I'm about to pop a blood vessel thinking
well
about it.
because of you. I mean, I'm not blaming you, but you include sound bites from Robert Ory, and Robert Ory's not really a legend on the level of James Worthy, but I get really sad seeing James Worthy. Obviously, Reggie's been disgusting for quite a long time now, but now we're just seeing all kinds of grown men taking the paycheck and just uttering absolute complete nonsense.
Man, it shouldn't be like this. The NBA alumni shouldn't have to suck dick to get a check, man. Big Game James, Big Game James, you are so much better than LeBron James, man. Knock it off. Big Game James sitting up here glazing, stuttering, malfunctioning, trying to think of something nice to say, like about LaForty James, man. It's terrible to see. It's terrible to see the legends of the game. Not necessarily, like Robert Horry, like we said, but some of the great players of this game just get on this television and just completely lie to our face.
Yep. And I kind of see a pattern with Nick Wright will put out the initial lie, and then the brainless minions will repeat it. Maybe starting from Gil and then going down to an FYF, and it's like none of them can think for themselves. They're like, "Oh, what lie did Nick put out?" And Nick said, I think I was listening to Dreamers Pro this morning because I won't listen to any of these actual shows. The only reason I hear these things is because I hear the sound bites on other creators' channels because I can't handle. I'll go postal if I actually listen to an entire show of these idiots. But you're like, oh, why was everybody silent when Bronny was doing well, and now people are making noise if he has bad? Like, because no one should be hearing about Bronny at all.
No.
The only reason we react to Bronny doing terribly is because you're highlighting Bronny and you're putting Bronny in the first period when he doesn't belong in the NBA at all. And we have plenty of examples in the G League who are better than Bronny on every level. Better than Bronny, and they're still down in the G League. They're not going into a game in the first period for the excuse of bringing energy. The excuse of bringing energy, you couldn't find anyone else to bring energy.
He doesn't even have energy on the court. You're like, okay, where's the energy? You look at Westbrook, that's energy. You look at Bronny, you're like, he's coasting through the game.
It's such a good point. And I was like, I thought about that. I was like, wait a minute. We've got the stats. Like Uncut Hoops just annihilated Bronny James, just showing that historically he might be the worst NBA player ever. Hey, Nick Wright, where were you covering that? That's pretty interesting. Statistically, he's the worst player ever, and you're just going to ignore that? But we're supposed to praise him when he makes a bucket? Like, how insane are you? But then the counter of that is, well, but he's got a defensive presence and he's got the hustle. No, he looks like he doesn't want to be there. He looks like he doesn't have to earn anything. That's what the eye test tells you.
Bronny looked like he ready to drop 20 kills on Call of Duty. That's what he thinking about, man. Bronny like, man, I just can't wait to get home to get on the game. Like, Bronny is not there to play basketball. LeBron forcing him to get up.
Thanos says, have never seen a player look like Bambi taking his first steps until Maxey hunted for Bronny. Looked like Drago versus Apollo Creed. Throw in the damn towel. Thank you. Thank you, Thanos.
Yeah, Bronny, it's time to pack it up, put the game on, man. Bronny would make so much money streaming. But again, it's like I'm not young enough to be looking at Bronny's content, but where's his personality? You know what I mean? It's like he gets up there like, yeah, okay. Just trying to play the right way. He just sounds like LeBron. LeBron is just constantly telling him, hey, tell him you're playing the right way. I'm playing the right way. Like, that's it. Bronny, talk to us. Make a joke, laugh or something, man. Come on. Let us see who Bronny is.
Do you think Bronny has a personality? I mean, I think he's lived his whole life knowing that he was a pawn of his father.
I mean, it's tough, man, because when you I don't know, because when you rich and stuff, you don't the father doesn't have enough time to
Mm.
be around his son. That's why, Wemby was like, they drafted Bronny because this is LeBron's extra motivation. Like, what? You mean to tell me the greatest player of all time supposedly needs to be motivated by having his unworthy son on the team? Make it make sense to me. What motivates this guy? Is he really motivated? Nah, knock it off.
I can't remember if you included the sound clip or if it was uncut or maybe it was even Commissioner Dynamo, but somebody had a sound clip of LeBron. And of course, first he has to compliment himself. He's so insecure. He has to, no one even asks him, and he has to compliment himself. And he says, well, I've already done everything possible individually, but this father-son thing, no one will ever be able to do. And that makes it the greatest ever. And I was like, God damn. So could you be any more clear about the real reason that you did it? And secondly, if anyone else was as willing to manipulate the NBA as you, they could do it. Other people could have gotten their sons in if they were willing to strong arm the NBA or spend
most
money.
Definitely. Jordan could have done that.
Yeah.
And then the problem is he gets on Twitter and is like, hey, Bronny's better than majority of these guys in the league right now. While he was in college. You're like, what? Is he out of his mind? This is the type of energy that he's giving towards this. He's hyping his son up. Remember he said, oh, when he was 5 years old and he stole the ball and went coast to coast. And from that moment, I knew he was special. Knock it off, LeBron.
Max B says AOH and 93 Zay. God damn it.
God damn it.
Hey, everybody, make sure to go give love to 93 Zay's channel. And what do you got set up over there? The Cash App or PayPal?
Yeah, I got the Cash App. Beat the Cash App up, please. Nah, but make sure y'all sub too, because it helps push my videos to more screens. I know I love the views. Like, the views is cool, but we got to get the subs up so we can get more people, you know what I mean, to the channel. I appreciate y'all though, either way.
King Speech Row, I cooked a Johnny on FYF last night. Go watch. Okay. Well, I was unaware. I can't watch that guy. I can't. My ears bleed. My eyes will fall out from even from listening. That doesn't even make sense. That's how bad it is. But sure. Do me a favor and tell me the timestamp, because I don't want to listen to any more of it than I have to.
Man, some of these fanboys are too deep in the trenches, man. Like, they're just way too deep. It's like, whoa, like, you're just completely delusional right now. Delusional.
Hey, I got another one. I think, again, it was you who quoted Embiid saying if he could have any wish, it would be to never play a back-to-back. And I thought to myself, why didn't you just wish to be tougher? Why don't you wish to have the ability to play a back-to-back every night without getting hurt? That's really what you should wish for, not wish for another night off.
That man needs some calcium bad, man. Joel Embiid is a disgrace to, man. Honestly, if he wasn't 7 feet, he'd be out the league, man. Let's knock it off. He will be done. You know, the NBA, there's no big men, so he's probably the best big man. Well, no, whoa. Let me walk that back. Jokic is the best big man right now. We not finna play games. Jokic is the best big man right now, but Embiid is in that top 3, that top 4, you know what I mean, of big men. So the NBA can't get rid of him. You know, what else do they have? There's no big men in the league worth a damn anymore, you know?
I mean, how often does he even go down in the paint? So why are we calling him a big man?
Shooting all these threes, all these big. If you over 6'10", why you keep shooting threes, man? Use your size. Get to the paint. Get to a spot. Oh my God, they have no post moves. Most of these guys don't have post moves.
You know what's sad is, like, in today's players that emulate these guys, they can't shoot threes either. I did a rant in my members section, and I had to leave the court the other day. I went out there to just like shoot and do a reaction video, and these kids come out and they're all just chucking threes and none of them can make anything. And it's not just that I'm afraid of getting hit on the top of the head or it ricocheting off the rim. These guys are so bad. I'm at risk of being hit in the back of the head.
You about to get brain damage messing with these kids.
Can anyone start from the inside and work their way out, please?
And
make a layup before you start working on your 3-pointer.
You're coming down on a fast break, pulling up from the top of the key, man. Like it's disrespectful to the game. The founding fathers of basketball are just like, what the hell is this? This is not what we started.
I just put the call-in link up. Sports and Fitness Rants was gonna join for a little bit today. I don't know if we waited too long. If you're still around, Robin, go ahead and call in. And anyone else who wants to call in.
Hey, thank you, Sean. Hey, my son sent $2 to you.
Nice. Where's that at? Let me throw that up on the screen. What's his name?
You said what?
Is that on here or is that on
here? To Sean Robinson. Yeah, he just sent it up.
Where's that at?
It's on the super chat. My bad.
Trying to find it. What have we not covered? There was so much to talk about today. What's on your mind? I've barely even dug into your brain. We talked about your conversion a little bit. What about your style on the channel? Because I really like your style. And thank God you laugh, because I don't fucking laugh. Well, sometimes I do. And it's like half crying.
No, man, I laugh because it's genuinely funny to me. You know what I mean? People be thinking like I got some type of tape recorder and be laughing. Like, nah, man, I'm really laughing because it's funny. You know, I look at everybody's kind of content and I'm like, you know, when I first started, I was just having a picture up talking and I'm like, man, it's not really getting me to where I want to go. Let me kind of sit down and figure out my own style. That's why I have like an intro. I have like a, you know, it's a little bit longer, so you got to stick around. But once the intro is over, oh, it's game time. You know what I mean?
I won't lie. It's getting painful because you have so much of LeBron in it. And I know you're making fun of him, but man, I can't look at that dude for too long. And you know what I wanted to comment on is how many of those shots of LeBron, he's looking at himself. Like that dude is so in love with himself and always checking the Jumbotron to see what he looks like or if they're filming him.
Oh, he knows where the camera is every game. He knows where it is. That's why that video where they staged that picture with that little girl was the most disrespectful thing, man, to the city of LA. If you were LA native, you should be highly upset that they would use a little girl in order to, man, oh my God. Like, did you see it? You seen it?
Oh, I saw other content creators cover it and I was like, God damn.
They were glazing, man. It was all over Sports Center. LeBron shows love to a fan. LeBron doesn't show love to fans. Let me keep it real with y'all. I was working at T-Mobile Arena. I was at the USA game. I was at the but the in-season tournament last year. Last year I was there. I'm telling you, I want to tell y'all where I was sitting, but I was so close to the bench. Man, I'm trying to tell you, I was so close to the bench. I seen AD drop 40 points, man. I seen him drop 40 and 20. And they awarded LeBron the MVP, man.
Yep.
It must suck being AD. AD's got to be a beta male because ain't no way.
Oh, clearly.
I'm going to allow my game and the hard work that I put in to be disrespected by a 40-year-old bum. Knock it off.
We have King Speech Row waiting, and I'm going to let King Speech come on in. That is a nice shot.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Yo, what's up, man?
Oh, wait, that's not King.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is. Did I click that? Yeah. Hey, what's up?
What's going on, man? Yeah, I'm in the car. But do these guys realize how much they feed the news cycle? They complain about being talked about, yet they're the ones feeding the news cycle. with every stupid thing they do and
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you bring the JJ Redick, bring in Bronny, he gets cooked. You tell him, oh, we had to fly him out. He just played the G League game. Blah. I mean, what are you getting a check for? What are you getting a check for? No, that number one, the fact that they had to bring him in speaks to how embarrassingly bad the Lakers' perimeter defense is, because he's now the quickest guy that you have to match up with Maxey. All right, so you got that, and it's like then you're mad that we're getting a whole bunch of big news cycle out of it. The Stephen A. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody made content off of it. We're talking about everything but the game, and like I said, man. When we was talking about the threes, I went on FYF Throw James Kingdom last night. All right, and I was making a point, like you had the Grizzlies and the Rockets the other night, and the two plays that they ran down the stretch losing the lead was 3-point shots from Fred VanVleet over Triple J. And again, they say that that's the way you play basketball. Why would you take a 3-point shot fading away down one? And I got
Off balance.
Johnny was off balance, fading away, and it's like, well, I left off. I said, what would Kobe have done? You think Kobe would have went for a 3 over a 7-footer? No, Kobe would have got to a spot within 2 and pulled up. And they think that this is the way to play the game now. See, it's one thing to take threes. Nobody's telling you not to take threes. But in that situation, why are you trying to close out a game taking threes? It just doesn't make sense. With your fourth best player at that. Not your best player, your fourth best player. And this is what they consider great teams now. It makes no sense.
Let's shoot 63s a game. You know what I mean? That's disrespectful. These guys, how many games have we seen them take 63s and shoot under 30% in this last era? You know what I mean?
Hold down the fort for me for a second. I'll be right back. Hold down the fort, 93.
I got you.
No problem.
You know what I mean? You're looking at these guys, everything is a step back. Man, they step back into hell, man. They are step backing every
step back
shot.
Is enough. Step back, just a step back. It makes no sense. It's not. Again, they want to say old basketball was unimaginative. How is it imaginative to take a step back? I mean, it's okay to do that a few times, but when you keep running it, and you're only shooting about 30% doing it, it's not as good as you think. Because if you had a consistent go to the post game, if you had a consistent get to your spot in the mid range and kill it. Look, the best teams are the ones that can do all of that. Can hit the three in a proper amount of times, can shoot in the mid range, can get fouled. That's the best offenses, not this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's all inside out. What happened to rebound battles? You don't even see. You know what I mean? Like people
no more big man battles
for a rebound.
No more big man battles. There was a nice one, Karl Anthony Towns versus Joker the other night, and both of them got each other in foul trouble. Which you get again. That was a good one, but you rarely see that because there's only 5 or 6 centers that can play both ways in this league anymore.
Oh, most definitely.
It's Embiid. Embiid is like, is he even playing this year? You gonna come back?
I think he done played in a few games. I don't even watch the 76ers like that, just because it's just disrespectful, man. They finally got rid of Benjamin Simmons. You know what I mean? He all about the Benjamins. Mm-hmm. You got players like that in the league. Oh, my new series dropping tomorrow. Stealing Money Mondays. Ben Simmons, my brother. Ooh. It's time to welcome you to this barbecue because you are stealing money.
Oh, he should have been on that. Oh my
God, he should have been on that money. Ben Simmons done made $200 million. Small GDP.
When you first
GDP, man, this is crazy.
When you first came on here, King's Speech, you mentioned the media is constantly feeding us crap that we have to respond to, and for all of you with this weak ass excuse saying that we shouldn't be talking about LeBron James, then stop promoting LeBron James and stop promoting Bronny, because people like 93 Zay and myself are here to set the record straight. That's what we're here for. And
that's it.
and why do you think you get to tell other people what their content is? If I put up a channel of CGI making fun of LeBron James and it was fake, I could still do it because it's my choice. I'm putting up actual footage of LeBron James, and it's more comical than anything I could come up with CGI. That's why we're pissed off, people. He's a clown. He's a freaking clown, and you worship him.
How many pro LeBron content creators make their money off of talking about Jordan, who hasn't scored a basket in 22 years?
Right.
22 years.
Right.
There's kids that are about to graduate college that were not alive when the last time Jordan hit a bucket, and you make your money off of that. But meanwhile, you think the conversation's gonna go away? Honestly, like there's a lot more to talk about in the game of basketball than LeBron James. He is really one of the least interesting. The Lakers are not interesting. We all know this. But guess who feeds it? ESPN and these unimaginative people that do a terrible job of marketing in the league.
Oh yeah.
The All-Star selections. Do we need the 3 old guys starting for the West? Do we need Curry? Because I think out of the 3, only KD had an argument for being a starter. Curry shouldn't even be on the team, but based on numbers alone. But I know it's in San Francisco, so they had to, they had to get. But honestly, or for merit, I want to see new stars. I want to see Norman Powell. That's a great story.
Oh yeah,
career role player has now got the
most
Clippers.
Improved.
Where they are. Yeah, there's a lot of Cade Cunningham. Thank God he made the team. He is. I know the record is bad, but with that number and the fan vote, he might. I don't know if there's going to be any injuries. The injury replacements, you'll get a couple of guys in there. But yeah, I mean, these are the guys. These are the stories. Make new stars. Why are we? These guys are on mediocre teams. And let's be real. The Lakers are mediocre. They have a negative plus minus for the scene.
Speaking of, because Nick Wright also talked about how the Lakers have been on a run. Am I crazy, or the Lakers almost never playing anyone good? I don't know how the schedules are created.
Never. Let me also tell you what they do with the schedule. Teams go out on that West Coast swing. They finish off in LA. They'll finish off with a back-to-back. They'll give them the Clippers the first night, like they did Boston, and then they'll give them the Lakers the second night. So guess who the Lakers are playing? A tired team on a back-to-back at the end of a long road trip. This will give the Lakers about 5 to 6 wins and put them from 500 to where they are, about 5 or 6 games over.
Yeah, the schedule.
Again, I'm a Knicks.
Yeah, the schedule is.
Yeah, the schedule is always set up for the
Lakers. Strategically.
It is. It is.
They got the Jazz back to back coming up, man.
I'm like, how many bad teams can they give the Lakers? Man. It seems like they played Washington 3 times. I know one of the Washington games was delayed by the fire, postponed because of the fires and whatnot. But they get Washington twice within a couple of weeks.
The Blazers.
I'm salivating with this down tonight. I want my Knicks to beat them by 30. I'm good. I'm interested to see OG Anunoby take the old guy. I hope he limits him to. I actually hope he kills that double-digit streak. But we know that they'll give LeBron enough foul trips to make sure
there's no AD.
That streak goes on.
The whistle will be blown tonight. You got to be prepared for it.
Oh boy.
It's sad. It's sad to have that much dread in your heart with an NBA coming up instead of expecting like men to compete like men out there.
Yeah.
Oh man. Listen, I hope my Knicks beat them by 40. I'm salivating at it because again, the Knicks are playing well. We're fighting for respect and all that, but I just want this Lakers story, the JJ Redick, the excuse train. I want to see Bronny tonight. I want to see him come in and get a standing ovation and hit two layups down 40. That's what I want to see. He'll double. Did you see his shooting percentage went up to a whopping 9% after that layup against the Wizards?
Yeah.
Let's give a standing ovation for Bronny.
Hey, King Speech. Appreciate you coming on. Yeah. I'm going to let Dallas come in.
No doubt, guys.
Hey, thank
you.
No
doubt. I have a good one, man. Yeah. All right.
There he is. What's up, Dallas?
What up, fellas? Can y'all hear me okay? I'm in the car.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro. Loud and clear.
Give a shout out
Okay.
to Zay for me.
Yo, what up, man? Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the team. Yo, you got me cracking up over here, man. So welcome 93 Zay. You speaking big facts there, brother.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm mad today. I'm mad at all of it, y'all. I can't find anything I like with the NBA. I don't like any one player. I don't think I don't. It's not any game I can really stay tuned into. I don't care if it's Cavaliers, OKC. I don't care who. I don't care about Joker. Like, yeah, he good, but is he really? Because it's I don't know. You know what I mean? So I'm upset. I'm just upset about the whole thing, you know. And then, like the gentleman King's speech just said, one thing he said that stuck out to me was the sport networks don't do a good job of promoting it. And I thought about how they're really trying to push Wemby down your throat right now. Like he's just the next guy. And I'm like, dude, I watch him play and I'm just like, I don't see it. So that's another thing I don't like. You know,
I don't want to see a 7'4" player shooting 8 threes. I'm sorry. I just don't want to see that.
Correct. I don't want to see it, man. And then it's like, even if you push in SGA, right? I'm like, SGA is good, but damn, they give him a lot of calls.
Oh,
you know, I mean,
he getting James Harden level of free throws right now.
Yeah, like let me know if I'm tripping, because I might be tripping, but I'm watching it, and all I do now, man, be honest with you guys, I go back. I got League Pass, so I go back and I just watch old games. And the other night, I've been watching the 94 finals against the Rockets Magic, right? 95. And did you all know that it was setting records for the most three-pointers made in that series? I mean, they were really shooting the ball. And then you had, at the same time, you had Shaq going at Hakeem. And it was just defense, shooting. But if you remember, back then, that was when they started to change the game, because they were like, that was a boring finals. So I have to go back and watch old games just to see what it feels like. And everybody in the game had a role, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't like guys, they just had these marquee players. You knew the whole team. You know, you knew everybody on the team, and you knew exactly what they were going to do when they came in the game. You had Sam Cassell as a rookie killing it, you know, but I'm just mad at the whole game, man. I ain't going to talk y'all head off, but yeah.
Well, you can't get excited. Like when Wemby came into the league, people were blowing me up saying, "Oh, what do you think about Wemby?" I'm like, why would you want me to overreact when we see the same pattern every year? You see the same pattern every year. But Wemby might not be as bad as a lot of them. At least he's still freaking playing. You know, by now, most people that we get excited about are on the bench. Hurt.
Right.
Or I mean, honestly, you get all these guys come into the league and then you don't even see him for the first few years. And then Wemby's going to change. The league is going to change him. He's going to learn how to flop. He's going to adopt the 3-point game instead of dominating inside, no matter what his skill level is. I have to take everything with a grain of salt. I can't just let my heart be involved in the NBA anymore. It's betrayed us.
Yeah, the NBA is done with American players, man. It's all going global now because America's not feeding them no more. You know, they're trying to get in China. They were in China. They were trying to go to India during the pandemic. You know what I mean? But the pandemic messed up the India trip. You know, now they're focusing on Europe. They're trying to get Europe in the door, you know? So it's tough to see that a sport that was the standard, the NBA was the standard. We don't cater to these leagues that nobody is watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying people don't watch it, but compared to the NBA, they're not watching it like the NBA. But they're catering to these other leagues. They're stealing from other leagues. The Big Three. You done stole the Big Three's format for the All-Star game. But you don't want to work with the Big Three. Work with them. You know what I mean?
Yep. We got some people giving love to the Pistons, and indeed, the Pistons have shown some grit. Is that Ivy guy still hurt? What was his last? Yep. See, I was really upset when he got hurt because he was looking pretty good.
One thing, can I speak to the Pistons thing that
Yeah,
I realized early this season? I was
Yep.
watching them. I had started watching them play within the first 10 games, and I said to myself, I said, "Man, this team is a good team, a fun team to watch. They do play with
I
a lot of
like them.
grit."
Yep, I do.
Yeah,
I like them
but
in
the
the
only
Rockets.
thing, the only thing I saw, I said they're not gonna win though. They'll probably be good next year, really good next year, once they start to learn how to flop and do all the things that you're supposed to do, because they don't do that right now. If you watch them play, they don't do a lot of flopping and stuff like that. So when they play against a team like, say, when they play against LA or something like that, they'll beat LA sometimes, but they'll lose because they don't understand they should be flopping. You know what I mean? They don't understand they should be baiting the referee for calls. Think about it. Think about New York Knicks, right? Before they've kind of just gotten good recently. It happened when Jalen Brunson got there. Jalen Brunson started flopping all over the place. He started getting the favorable call. You know what I mean? So I'm not taking away from how good he is, but you notice when teams start winning, they start doing all of those type of things. And that's what I'm scared for Detroit. I'm like, they're going to probably be good, but then they're going to start flopping. Then they're going to trade a couple of guys. And then it's just going to be back to the drawing board.
just think about what you said and how sad that is, that they have to learn to play the manipulated version of basketball. God damn it.
It's sad.
It's sad, man.
It's sad because teams play the Lakers and they don't understand that your flopping doesn't matter. Only the Lakers flopping matters during this game. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And Zay, you mentioned, you brought up KD in your recent video and you talked about what he did going to the Warriors. And indeed, it's not the most inspiring thing. The flip side of that is the league just standing back and watching LeBron keep putting together super teams every single season, because he did it again that season. So, do you jump on board with what the system is? Or do you try to play the right way and let someone who unabashedly cheats the game keep getting chips that he doesn't deserve? Neither one is the right answer. That's the sad thing.
Yeah, it's sad, but good to me always gonna triumph evil. You know what I mean? LeBron James is colluding. He has a conglomerate within the NBA in order to have an advantage. He has an advantage over the NBA because he has a sports agency. He's able to know where players are going. He knows where people are already going before they go. Let's be for real about that. Then he has the power to get the GM fired, the coach fired. He has the power to do all these different things and manipulate the game in his favor to get him the best roster, which is terrible for the league. Terrible.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's man, it just gets my blood pressure up sometimes, man, because the game is so far gone from what it was and what it's supposed to be. Balanced, great teams going at it, playing hard, players showing up. How many times people go to a game and your favorite, you don't find out he's not playing until the last minute.
Yep.
You done spent $500, $600, and then you find out your favorite player isn't playing, man.
Yep. I got a question for y'all though, 93. Got a question for you. What have y'all? Let me know if I'm wrong, but I have not heard any comparison about the Cleveland Cavaliers with Donovan Mitchell versus the Cleveland Cavaliers that LeBron played on. Because when I look at what Donovan Mitchell has done since he's been with Cleveland, I think it's commendable, and I think it's worth a conversation of how good they look with him in a short amount of time with him being there. But I have not heard that conversation. Have y'all heard that conversation?
Nope, because it doesn't fit the narrative. If the narrative doesn't benefit LeBron, you're not going to hear about it. These sports networks are all pro LeBron. So any type of negative slander that you hear is just going to come from YouTube, from people who actually are watching what they're seeing.
Well, let's say the Cavs won the chip this year.
Yeah.
We go back to earlier this season, there was a media-driven talk about who should get statues and where LeBron should get a statue. And I said, well, why wouldn't Kyrie get a statue? He cost the Cavs less money and did it in less time than LeBron. Don't pretend like LeBron James came in and single-handedly saved that place in a manner that deserves a statue. And if Donovan Mitchell, and I don't mean to disrespect the rest of the Cavs by focusing on Donovan Mitchell, they have a great team, great players. So we just happen to be talking about Donovan. So you could say the exact same thing. Oh, Donovan Mitchell delivered a chip for the Cavaliers, but we're only going to pretend that it was LeBron James who did something historic.
Yeah, but when you watch the highlights, when they show the block, they make you think that the block was the game-saving play. They forget that Kyrie Irving had to equalize the game. He was the equalizer on that team. He's the closer on that team.
Would that block have been possible if Iguodala wasn't concerned about the man that was actually guarding him? I mean, it's just a setup for LeBron to steal the highlight.
Yeah, if he dunks that ball, game is over.
Yeah. I mean, I never forgave Iguodala for that. I never forget. Fuck you.
You had one job.
You're a former dunk champion. Dunk the fucking ball in the finals.
Oh my God, yes, AOH, man. I used to say the same thing. People thought I was crazy. I was like, why are you doing all that funky reverse, man? You 6'9", can jump out the gym. Why are you? And J.R. Smith is what, 6'3"? Just try to dunk. Just try to dunk on him. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get out y'all here. I'm gonna sit back and listen to you guys because this has been great. This is another thing, like you just said about Kyrie. I think about all the times that Dwayne Wade came through for Miami that they don't talk about that allowed them to win championship. Like games that they really don't tell you about that if they had a lost that particular game, like to get those game threes. When the Wade would have like 40 points, 35 points, clutch shooting, all these type of things. And then LeBron would come in the last 5 to 6 minutes and score maybe 6 points when the game is out of reach. And then just to get his numbers higher than either Kyrie or Wade. And then the commentator would say, LeBron leading and everything. I'm like, LeBron getting numbers when the game is already decided. He knows how to, he's intelligent enough to know if I go in there and I get an extra 5 to give myself 40 and Kyrie has 32, they're gonna say that it's gonna say Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James beat Golden State. You
exactly.
Know what I mean? So it's just so crazy.
When you see him sitting on the bench looking at the stat sheet, that's a problem, man. That's stat pattern. He's like, oh, what can I do in these last 4 minutes? We're up by 20, so I can be the cover photo. Knock it off. Like, they gotta knock it off, man.
Well, if you're not subbed to 93Zay, make sure to do it, Dallas, but I'm sure you probably are.
Hey, appreciate you, Dallas. I'm gonna return the love too, man.
Yes.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go do that today, and I'm gonna sit back, listen to you guys cook. And yeah, man, it's wonderful to just have guys to call it out, man. Call it
man,
out.
It's a small group, man. It's a small group of us that call it out, but man, it's the truth. You can't be mad at the truth.
Facts. All right, y'all.
Thanks for
have a good rest of your day, bro.
Peace.
Yeah. Every day. You gotta pick your battles because every day they're throwing more lies at us, and people finally got tired of the lies. I think that's why my channel finally caught on. People are like, oh, thank God I'm not the only person that sees this bullshit.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. You got a good channel, bro. Your breakdowns, you get down to the nit and gritty, man. You go into the rule book. I'm like, God damn, he going to the rule book.
It's unfortunate that that's necessary because I don't think half the audience knows what the rules are, and the announcers don't help any. They just backpedal. Yeah. They try to explain the cheating that's happening right in front of you.
How many times you see like JJ Redick challenge a play? It makes no sense how they got the ball or possession, and the announcers are even like, well, we don't think that's right, but we'll just go with it. You're like, man,
it's tough. It's a tough call. It's hard to make the right call in that situation.
It's terrible. They can't even explain it. When the announcers can't explain it, it's a problem. They're manufacturing this stuff in order to get this guy in a conversation that he doesn't belong in. The All-Star game. LeBron is responsible for destroying The All-Star game.
God,
man, remember when Kobe was going at LeBron in the All-Star game? LeBron had the opportunity twice to take the game-winning shot.
Yep.
And he passes it up, turns the ball over.
Yep.
How can a guy be the greatest when he doesn't want the ball?
It's just interesting how LeBron fans want to ignore all of that. Like they ignore 90% of history in order to hang on to their delusion. And you think those of you who don't like that we make content that features LeBron a lot of the time, well, you make content lying about LeBron and you crap on a guy that you never even watch play. Like you're so disrespectful that you shit on a retired man and didn't even bother to go back and research if what you're saying is true. So your channels are crapping on Jordan and lying about LeBron.
Yep.
I'm not sure why you're proud of that.
The NBA is the only sport where it disrespects its past legends, its past eras. When you talk about the NFL, they glorify it. They're like, man, it was so tough. It was so great. The NBA is like, these guys are plumbers. These guys are firemen. I'm like, firemen? Wow. You're disrespecting the hardworking firemen and the hardworking plumbers of the world, the people who come to your games. And you're calling your past players them. That's disrespectful.
So what's next, Zay? You're gonna break down this Knicks Lakers game, and we'll.
Oh yeah, I'm getting my popcorn ready. I'm hoping that the Knicks do the Lord's work. God, please help the Knicks today, Lord, because I know the refs. There's no AD, so where's the scoring finna come from? We're gonna have to figure it out. We got to watch the game and see, man, because LaForte's definitely gonna try to stat pad. So he's definitely gonna be gunning.
Who's matched up against LaForte?
I hope they don't put Miles Bridges on them. Cause man, it's gonna be barbecue. I don't know, man. It's tough because he's so big. He's a big guy. We have to be for real. He is one of the biggest guys on the court.
Yeah.
So if you put somebody smaller on him, he's just gonna abuse them. Typically, he's gonna foul them. Push off, etc. But I don't know, man. They're gonna have to play a good team defense. Just keep them out of the paint, and we should be good.
I was thinking
Jackson Hayes.
There's always a size problem, and if you do have a guy guard him who is about equal size, LeBron will ask for the switch, and he wants the mismatch.
Oh,
he's so cowardly.
He's always searching for the smaller defender, pick and roll. He needs a high screen just so he can score. He can't score on somebody that's his size. You have a big in the paint. When you have those bigs in the paint, man, it affects him. Remember, Thiago Splitter was giving him problems at the Spurs. Sometimes scored in the paint, man. Like it's trouble. He likes these little guys jumping over John Lucas. Remember John Lucas? He jumped over him and all the fanboys went wild. You know what I mean? So if you're a smaller defender, you're in trouble playing against LeBron.
John Pettis says OG will guard LeBron.
Oh yeah, OG.
I forgot about Anunoby.
Yep. Yeah. Anunoby. They should put him on him, but still, man, he's off that shit, man. He's strong. We can't lie like he's not strong. So you put somebody who's slimmer on him, it's gonna be tough because the refs are not gonna call offensive fouls.
Yeah, a lot of people are strong, but you can only rely on strength when you're allowed to. Don't get me wrong. I would never turn down having extra strength, but being allowed to use that strength in an illegal manner is where the tide really turns.
Oh, most definitely, because you can't stop it. When somebody's like, how many times we see there's about to be a rebound. LeBron pushes a guy in the back just to steal the rebound. Nobody, and the ref is just looking right at him. Doesn't call anything. So
super chat from Big J. Shout out to Zay and AOH. La has to go.
Gotta go. LeCap.
Oh, LeCap. Yeah, I thought that was a water drop, and it made me think about you talking about how these guys are moist. I'm going to start. I'm going to start something called the moist meter when we look at how these guys play, and it's like, where does this one rank on the moist meter?
These guys coming to work in sandals and fucking purses and skirts. Oh my God. You imagine doing that in the 90s, the early 2000s, coming to a game in a fucking skirt, man.
Yeah, you know, it's nostalgic that back when Rodman would do weird shit, at least you were looking at one guy and had to be like, he's the freak show. Every single one of them is a freak show now.
The stuff SGA be wearing too, you be like, oh my God, some
you
is
look
not.
back,
These guys are real flexible, man.
Man, I look back at some of these old games and they interview Rodman. I'm like, well, geez, Rodman actually is handling himself pretty decently in these interviews. Like he was the bad guy back then, and he sounds better than today's players do.
Oh, most definitely, man. Rodman was a freak show, crazy, but when he was on that court, oh, he was a menace to society on the court, man. He was.
Zay, I appreciate you giving me your Saturday morning, and everybody watching appreciates that you came in here. It's great to have you on. Great to learn a little bit about your conversion, and we love your content. And I hope you'll come back on.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. We gotta do this again soon, man. We'll definitely set something up. I appreciate you giving me your platform and opportunity to showcase myself and who I am, and talk basketball and help get Bronny James out of here. Just
don't pull an awful coaching on me. I gave him a shout out early on, and that guy ends up being one of the worst LeBron cock gobblers ever.
LeBron James is why I pay the rent. You know, he be flip flopping, man. I don't know what's up with awful coaching, but it be games where he talks about it, then the next game he's back glazing them. You like, man, some ain't adding up.
Oh wait, I've seen him clown Bronny. I've never seen him clown LeBron. Has he?
I think I did see a video.
Really?
Maybe. I don't want to lie now, but I thought I did. But he definitely did come at Bronny. I don't think he's done another Bronny video in a while, has he?
I don't know. I unsubscribed a long time ago.
Yeah. Once I seen that, it was like LeBron James was just completely surgical last night. I'm like, oh, turn this shit off.
I'm gonna break down one. I saw a headline of one of his like after Christmas, and all I did was download it and prepare it for this summer. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna title it "Awful Coaching is the Reason His Parents Shouldn't Have Kids."
His titles do be killing me, man. He do be having some funny titles. But no, most definitely, bro. Like it's weird, man. I feel like, you know, once a page gets to a certain level or something, these guys reach out like, hey man, we got some money for you if you say nice things about us. Has that happened to you in your experience or anything? Like, have you got contacted by anybody, or they're like, hey man, if you say this about LeBron, man, we'll give you a few dollars or anything like that? I just want to know, because I'm new to this.
No, I've had a few sort of sponsorships that didn't make any sense. I was like, I don't even understand what you're talking about. But nobody's tried to buy me off. I mean, if any of them ever actually watched my channel, I think it would be pretty clear that that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that'll be channel suicide too. So, but for sure, man. I just wonder, man, because you know, you hear a lot of stuff, you hear rumors, you hear, you know how sensitive millionaires are. You know how petty they are, man.
When you change, we'll be checking what house you move into.
Oh hell no. I ain't never changing, man. YouTube gonna keep me in the shadow until further notice. You know what I mean?
Well, we're all looking forward to your Knicks Lakers breakdown. And again, have a great rest of your Saturday, and thanks for coming on.
All right, y'all. Get y'all belts ready. Get the plungers ready.